Hi, Sam here, and I am submitting my thoughts to you on the Tamiflu debate that you had sent around in the email. I had a few thoughts about this. My first thought is that I think that publishing all of the emails as they were written is extremely important. As we go through these clinical trials more, I'm starting to realize that I rely much less on the summaries given, and I like to actually look through the tables and look through the information on my own. And it's a similar sort of thing with this. I think I would be more skeptical if I couldn't see the actual emails that say that yes, we did ask for the data and we were kind of stonewalled in that respect. And going off of that, I think that a few things jumped out at me. The first thing was that when the company said that they didn't want to release the data because of a conflict between the one meta-analysis and the Cochrane review. I didn't really understand this. I don't know much about meta-analyses aside from what I've learned in class, but it doesn't make sense to me why you wouldn't be able to use the same data for one analysis and then another. They're independent if they're different analyses. And another important thing was actually the very last line when it said that data from Roche is still undisclosed as of October 2012, despite assurances that the company would open them up to scientific scrutiny. That pretty much instantly jumps out at me as something that is an instant red flag. If they said that they would disclose the data and still haven't done so, in my mind it's because something really weird and wrong is going on. But actually, on a totally unrelated note, I noticed that it said that this was a potential conflict of interest because the two published studies were funded by Roche. I understand fully how that could be a conflict of interest, but I'm also sensing that that seems to be sort of a theme throughout drug trials and surgical intervention trials and that sort of thing. And I'm curious as to when that situation would not arise. Who else would fund trials if not for the company themselves? I don't see why the government would fund it, because they probably don't have money for that, or independent centers like the WHO or the CDC, or just to name a few that were mentioned in this case. It seems more logical to me that the company would have to fund it themselves in order to profit from it later on. That kind of only seems fair, actually. So as much as I understand that that could be a conflict, I'm curious to know if there's a way that, if it's even possible that that could be remedied. And if it couldn't, then I wonder if there's even a point in identifying it as a conflict. It seems like it happens all the time. But anyway, those were my thoughts on it. All in all, I think it is very cool that they are publishing this sort of thing, and I think that, I think it's great that we got to take a look at it. Thank you for referring me to that. See you tomorrow.